Hey gang, Jeff Stone here with some story time. We're going to travel back in time to the 1970s. I was a little child back then, and I was just getting into computers, and there was this really cool book, because remember, there was no internet back then, and it was called Basic Computer Games. And you would open this book up, and you could type the games into your computer, and then you could play the games. Now, I've since gotten permission from the author, David H. All, to have the PDF and give it to you guys for free. So if you click here on free book, and then you can download it right here. And here is the book. And this is the actual old basic computer programming language. And in a minute, I'll even show you where to go download basic if you want to install it. But this had a whole bunch of games. Let's get to the games portion right here. The very first game is called Acey Ducey. And here it is. And what it shows you, it's one page of instructions. That's it. And half of the page is what the gameplay would look like. And so if you ran the game in BASIC, it would look like this on the left here. And then on the right is the actual basic code that you would type in your computer and run it. So because I love this book so much and I'm nostalgic for it, I took it upon myself to make a whole bunch of these programs in modern languages. And so here are some of the sections, and I actually have made Acey Ducey, which is an assignment you're going to make. And here is my version of it. Now, interface, if you will, was meant to somewhat mimic or pay homage to the old style of the 80s command line stuff. As a side note, here's what it looks like on the command line. Very simple, and this is what it looked like when I played it back in the 70s and 80s. Here are your two cards, 7 and 10, so I'm going to place a bet that I think the next card is going to fall between them. So I'm going to bet $10, and I won. So now my new bank is $110. You can see right there on the screen it shows $110. And then the next two cards are 4 and 6. So I'm going to bet 10 again. I'll probably lose this round. And sorry, you lost, and it now shows that I'm back down to $100. Now, a 4 and a queen, that's a pretty good spread. I'm going to go for $100. I'll probably lose. You lost. Sorry, friend, but you blew your wad, so I'm out of money. Try again? Sure. And we'll try again. And this time I'm going to not enter anything. I'll do $0, and it's going to call me a chicken, right? So it's going to mock me. All right, so let's just get out of here and go back to my version right here. Okay, so here is the version, and yours doesn't need to look like mine. In fact, I'd prefer that it didn't look like mine, because I was going for this vintage style to sort of pay homage to the good old days, and that's why I chose these colors, and a lot of the old consoles would use these colors like this. So, but here's the basic gameplay, and your thing is all described right here in the basic instructions, and then in the advanced instructions right here, okay? And there's my video placeholder until I make the video that I'm making right now. So when you're done with all of this, you will have something that does this. It will show your bank balance. It will say Acey Ducey at the top. It will display two cards, and it'll give you a place to enter a bet. And I'm going to put in $10 here. So let's go with 10. And it says you lose. It shows the card that was drawn. And then you can notice at the top right there, my bank is down to $90. And I can click for a new card. And this time I'm going to do no bet. And it says, what's the matter? Are you scared? And you'll notice every time I do a different bet, I get a different mock. Your requirement is to use ChatGPT to come up with these mocking statements here, right? So ask ChatGPT or an AI of your choice to print out a handful of different mocking things. And then I'll put in a $10 bet here, and I lost again. And that was a losing bet because between 7 and 10, there's not a lot there. So you're going to keep going, and then eventually, I'm going to bet the whole $80, and I'm out of money. I lose, you're out of money. And then I can reset the game to start over, and we play again. So the next thing, if I try to bet more than I have, so I'll try to bet $200, it gives me a thing that says enter an amount less than or equal to your bank. Again, you're going to use an AI to generate that text for you. You're not going to do that dynamically. You're just going to go to ChatGPT and have it generate some text, and then you're just going to put that in your code. Next up, you'll notice at the bottom there in yellow, it says that I'll bet you'll run out of money before you break my bank of $5,000. Your assignment requirement is to break the bank at 500, not 5,000. And so when you break the bank at 500, then a different message comes up, which again will be generated by AI. Next up, another part of the assignment is that you need to have an about or a help or something like that where you click it and it actually has the instructions of how to play the game. And I want you to actually use AI again to generate the instructions. So you can ask ChatGPT to write up the instructions for Acey Ducey. You have to make sure that it knows what you're talking about and it's familiar with the game. So you may have to have a little bit of a conversation with the AI to figure it out, but it'll write the instructions for you so that when the user clicks on the help or about or something like that, then it'll bring them to the instructions. I've got some extra things here that you do not need. If you click on book right here, it will take you to that page right out of the book. If you click on basic here, it'll actually take you to where you can copy and paste the basic code right there. And then that just resets the game right there. Okay. The last thing that you need, which is not here, and I'm not going to be adding mine because I've already written this program before AI was really publicly available. I wrote this several years ago, and so I didn't use AI to create any of that text. But what you need is another button up here that says AI or something like that. And when I click on AI, it will show me the actual prompts that you used in AI. So what question did you ask ChatGPT to get it to generate your out of budget message, or what prompt did you write and ask ChatGPT to give you the instructions? And so when I click on the AI button there, it'll print it out nicely with a little message saying, here's what I used for this part, here's what I used for that part. And everything I'm telling you in this video is all spelled out for you in the instructions. So if you just follow these instructions, there's a lot of them, but if you just follow them step by step, it's all spelled out. And everything that I just went over in the video is also here. But I like having these videos so that you can sort of get a vision of what I'm looking for, and so you know what to shoot for. And then the last thing I'll just tell you as a little side note, to get to this site here, if you just go to stonecoldprofessor.com right here, which is my site, and then click on this goofy link here, something happened with my CSS, but this basic link right here, click that. That takes you to this page. You can download the book here. You can go to modern versions here and see the ones that I've built. These are all different ones I've built here. You can click on them and play them if you want to. And then if you go here to click basic, or get basic I should say, then it shows you, here's a user's guide, and here you can download, depending on what your operating system is, Windows or Mac or Linux or whatever, you can actually download basic and install it so you can play the game like we just sort of did over here. That's it, folks. Have fun with this one. This is a passion project. Hopefully it'll get you inspired to look at retro gaming and retro code. See you next time.